Hello, and welcome to I Watch This As an Adult, the podcast where I review movies from my childhood from an adult perspective. And this week, I'll be reviewing 2002's Spider-Man.
So what would happen if four friends from Best Buy decided to create the greatest podcast in the world? You would get Underground Nerd Nation, of course. We mainly talk about topics related to nerd culture and pop culture, but you never know where our conversations may take us. Like the time we got in a debate over grading scales. You're bound to have a good time with Underground Nerd Nation, so come join the Underground. We got beer and pizza down here.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 114 of I Watch This As an Adult Movie Reviews. I am your host, Mikkel Ford, back again, back to my original format, which is talking about old movies. I know I've been doing other things on this podcast. I had the Comic-Con recap. I had the Thor Love and Thunder review. I did a whole in-depth review on Thor Love and Thunder. If you want to go check that out, go check that out. I also did a whole in-depth discussion about who I think will be the new Avengers going forward. If you want to go check that out, go check that one out. But now I am back with my regularly scheduled programming, which is talking about retro reviews. We're going to be talking about 2002's Spider-Man for the 20th anniversary of that movie. And moving forward, August will be Action August. August is where I will be talking about action movies. So Spider-Man technically counts as an action movie, so I'm gonna put it in there. This is the first one, but yeah. But before we talk about Spider-Man, before we get into Spider-Man, let's talk about things I watched this week, and also things I heard about this week, things that are in the news this week. You know, if you're a fan of this podcast, you know what this is. But if you're new, I talk about things that I watched this week, and I also talk about like news that I've heard this week, whether it be in the entertainment business, mostly in the entertainment business. I don't really talk about world news here a lot. There's sometimes I might go on a rant and talk about some stuff, but don't really talk about a lot of world news here. But let's get into things I watched this week. I watched Prey on Hulu, which is the prequel to Predator. I think there's a lot of Predator content out there, because you got Predator, you got them, of course you got the movies. Of course you have the movies. You got comic books out there. You got video games. You got all types. You got fan fiction. You got all types of Predator content out there. But for movie purposes, I'm going to say this is a Predator prequel. So we got Prey, the prequel to Predator, the first Predator. I'm going to say it's a prequel because it's set like in the 1700s. I believe, like, this is like 1739 or 1737 or something, I think. And we're following, in this one, we're following a Native American tribe. We're following a Native American tribe. So very, 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 I'm not even going to say medieval. You know, I'm not even going to say medieval. I was about to say medieval, but very, like, we're going back some centuries, you know, with this movie. First off, I want to say I really enjoyed this movie. I'm just gonna show my hand right now. I really enjoyed this movie. I had a lot of fun watching this movie. Starts off a little slow. Starts off a little slow. It's not very slow, but it starts off a little slow because like there's a lot of character building. First, like we're getting to know this girl, the girl played by Amber Mid-Thunder. I forgot the character's name because like they don't really say a lot of characters' names in this movie. So like I know the actress's name. Her name is Amber Mid-Thunder, which is a cool ass name. Super cool name, Amber Mid-Thunder. Can you imagine walking up to somebody and saying, "Hey, my name is Amber Mid-Thunder"? That is the coolest name ever. Oh my god, that name is gangster. But this is my first time seeing her. This actress. I went through her IMDb. She's been in a lot of stuff. Some stuff I didn't notice her in. I think her most famous thing that she's been in is Legion. I never really watched Legion because I don't really fuck with the Fox X-Men like that. So, I know a lot of people are probably like, "Oh my god, Legion is so good. How come you haven't watched it?" Because I don't fuck with the Fox X-Men. I'm sorry, I just don't. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the Fox X-Men. I just don't fuck with them. But yeah. But yeah, she's good. She's good in this. She's really good in this movie. I like the concept of this movie. It's really a coming of age story. Oddly, this is a coming of age story. We're following this girl, wanting to prove herself, wanting to show her worth. She's growing into a young woman. I want to say maybe she's maybe late teens, early 20s. This character's supposed to be, I think the actress is in her mid 20s, but I think the actress is in her mid 20s, but I think she's playing a girl that's in her early 20s and maybe late teens. And she's trying to prove herself. She's trying to prove her worth. She's trying to prove to the tribe that she's a worthy warrior. She goes on hunts. She practices her hunting. She tries to go on hunts with her brother. Her brother is the most fiercest warrior in the tribe. So he's the guy you don't want to fuck with. He's the guy that he's a bad motherfucker. Pretty much, he's a bad motherfucker. I like the guy that played her brother. I did not catch his name. I should have looked at the casting before I did this. That's my fault. But I like her brother. If they want to do another Mortal Kombat movie, I say cast this dude as Nightwolf. Because he looks exactly like Nightwolf. There's even a part where he's got half his. There's even a part where he's got half his face painted, and I was like, he looks like Nightwolf. I was like, they want to do if they're doing a sequel to Mortal Kombat and they want to put Nightwolf in it, cast this guy as Nightwolf. He's a really good fucking actor. One, because he's really good in this. He was another highlight of this movie. He's a good fucking actor. He could do the action because he's a good fighter. And he's got a good look to him. He's got a great look to him. He looks exactly like Nightwolf from Mortal Kombat. Warner Brothers, cast this man as Nightwolf, please, for the next Mortal Kombat movie. But yeah, man, her brother is the fiercest warrior, and she wants to prove that she could be a fierce warrior too. So the movie is it's a coming of age story. It's also a girl and her dog movie because she has this dog that she travels with too. Where whenever she wants to go out hunting, her dog, she has her dog with her. Dog is a highlight too, low key. That dog is pretty good. I like that dog. there was a couple of times where like I thought that dog was gonna die. I was like, and like they had me invested. They had me invested in caring about a dog. I was like, that's good storytelling. That's good storytelling right there. When you got me invested about a dog. You got me invested to see if a dog is gonna live or die. Cause like a lot of times you're like, oh, that's a fucking dog. It's gonna die or something like that. But they made this dog emotive. They made this dog brave. They made this dog very noble. And you didn't want to see it die. Cause like a lot of times you're like, oh, it's a dog, you know, it's gonna fucking die. But like you like every time somebody or even the predator itself or something, because like it fought, like it got into it with some animals too, with some other animals. It's not like another animal or somebody or like another human or even like I said, the predator itself was like about to do harm to this dog. You cared about this dog, because like there's a certain part at the end where like it looks like he's about to sacrifice himself for the girl, like going like head up with the predator, and you're like, no, I'm like, no, you know, I cared about that dog. I like, that's amazing. Like I said, that's amazing storytelling. But yeah, man, the movie doesn't have a lot of death in it. It doesn't have a lot of kills. Like, but when the kills happen, they are spectacular kills. Like the Predator, like I said, the Predator doesn't kill a lot, but when he does, it is fucking spectacular. He is ripping fucking heads off. He is gutting motherfuckers like fucking fish. You know, like he is doing the damn thing. Like the first half of the movie, he's just torturing animals pretty much though. Cause like he takes this snake and he like skins this snake. He takes out that bear fight. My God. If you saw the trailer for Predator, you know about the bear. The bear is in the trailer for Prey. But they don't show you like the whole thing. That bear was whooping Predator's ass. Like he was giving Predator that work. You know, like he was giving the Predator that work. A bear, because like Predator thought that bear was gonna be an easy win because he been torturing like little animals and shit. He been killing the little animals, and he went up against that bear. And he was like, oh man, this bear ain't gonna be shit. And that bear started whooping his thing like, oh shit, fall back. And bear was whooping Predator's ass, but he eventually got the best of him. He caught him and killed the bear. But yeah, and that's like the first sight of the Predator, like with the character that Amber Midthunder is playing. That's the first time she sees the Predator, and she's like, what? She's looking like, what the fuck is that? She's like. But yeah, man, overall, this movie is a sight to be seen. I loved every bit of it. Great prequel to the original Predator. If I had to rank it, it is on par as good as the original Predator. You know, it is on par as good as the original Predator because like it puts that mystery back into the Predator. Like the first Predator movie, like in the first Predator movie, you don't know what the fuck this thing is. It's like, it's just killing everybody. You know, you don't know what it looks like. Like, you barely even see it. Like, you don't really see the Predator until like maybe 30 minutes like that's left in the movie. Like the last 30 minutes of the movie is when you like really see the Predator. And you're like, what the because like even like Arnold Schwarzenegger says, you like, that is one ugly motherfucker. You know, and you're like, oh my God, but it's a cool design too. It's a cool design. because like you've never seen a creature look like that before. It's like a man alien creature, you know. So like it's cool looking, and this movie reestablishes the mystique of the Predator. It reestablishes the mystery of the Predator, and I love it. That's why I say it's on par, as good as the first Predator, maybe even Predator 2, because I have a soft spot for Predator 2, because like Predator and Predator 2 are the ones I go to the most. Alien versus Predator, the other Alien versus Predator, the second Alien versus Predator pissed me the fuck off. I remember I was like, this movie is so bad. It's so bad. I haven't seen Predators, so I can't judge that. I have to go back and watch Predators. I heard that one is pretty good. The Predator is bullshit. You know, like, I hate that movie. That movie sucks. It kind of makes like the Predator like a fucking comedy, you know? You know, like, it's pretty much what it was. It was trying to return back to the original Predator, but they missed the mark on that. But this one I think is a rightful successor to the original Predator. I enjoyed it. If I had to rank it, I'd give it a 5 out of 5. Perfect movie. Go check it out whenever you get the chance to. It's on Hulu. Go get Hulu. Check it out. It's really good. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna take a quick break, because the next thing I gotta talk about it's a lot to talk about. So I'm gonna take me a quick break, and I will be back with I Watched This as an Adult movie reviews. We'll be back after these messages. Alright guys, welcome back to the show. Now, let's talk about this. Oh my god. Let's talk about what's going on with Warner Brothers and HBO Max and DC, and now I think TBS and TNT I think is involved in this now, and like Turner is involved in this, like Turner Media or whatever the fuck is involved in this shit now. There's a big tangled web that is going on over there at Warner Media right now, because also Discovery. I think you got to put the Discovery Channel in this also. A lot of things, a lot of moving parts, a lot of components involved in this whole thing, because Warner Media has merged with Discovery. They do the Discovery Channel. I think like they own the Discovery Channel. They own TLC. They own the Food Network, I believe, and something else. I forgot what it was off the top of my head, but like I know it like those three. I think they own CNN too. I don't know. I think they own CNN as well. But yeah, it's a whole fucking kerfuffle clusterfuck thing going on over there at Warner, man, because there's a new sheriff in town over there, and his name is David Zaslav. David Zaslav was the CEO of Discovery. He purchased Warner Media, or they like, yeah, because AT&T was involved with Warner Media, and they were just like, nah, we don't want to deal with this no more, and so they sold it. I believe David Zaslav, don't quote me on this, but I believe David Zaslav, they purchased it, and now he's the CEO of Warner Media, which he's merging with Discovery. I think they're called like Warner Brothers Discovery or Warner Media Discovery or some shit like that. And he ain't playing. You know, he he ain't playing around, man. He like if you don't see no worth in you, you getting cut. The first casualty of this whole thing is the Batgirl movie. The Batgirl movie has been cut. It has been scrapped. $90 million down the drain, man. Like I said on my TikTok, honestly, I forgot about that movie. I forgot that movie was even being made. It was supposed to star Leslie Grace. Beautiful girl. Beautiful Leslie Grace. First time I saw her was in the Heights, another Warner Brothers production. I really enjoyed that movie. I enjoyed In the Heights. It was one of my favorite movies of 2021. Honestly, like one of my favorite movies. But yeah, she was supposed to be Batgirl, Leslie Grace, and the movie got scrapped. Kind of glad it got scrapped because like that didn't make any sense because J.K. Simmons was supposed to be her father. The J.K. Simmons who played the Commissioner Gordon in Justice League was supposed to be Leslie Grace's Batgirl's father. She was supposed to be he was supposed to be her father, which didn't make any sense to me. It didn't make any sense to me because it would make more sense for that Batgirl to be in the Batman's universe, like the Matt Reeves Batman universe, because Leslie Grace is a Afro-Latino. She's an Afro-Latino. She's a Dominican. I think a lot of people thought she was just straight up black, but I think she can pass for black. I don't know if she's played black girls before, but she can pass for black. She could be a light-skinned black girl because she looks black. At first glance, she looks like a black girl. At first glance, but then you find out like she's Dominican. But because of that, it would make more sense for her to be Jeffrey Wright's daughter, like the Commissioner Gordon that Jeffrey Wright plays in the Matt Reeves universe. It would make more sense for that to be her father than J.K. Simmons to be her father. So maybe they doing right because like that can like the whole DCEU is fucked up. I'm gonna get into that in general. I'm gonna get into that because like David Zaslav talked about what he's gonna do with the DCEU. So we're gonna baby steps, y'all, baby steps. But that movie's canceled. The Supergirl movie got canceled. They were supposed to do the Latina Supergirl movie. I think that Supergirl is in The Flash, the Ezra Miller Flash movie. I think she's in that movie. I think I saw her in the trailer. But her solo movie canceled. They're not doing that anymore. She was gonna be played by a girl named Sasha Calle. They're not doing that. Lot of backlash for that because like it feels like they're just canceling all the movies with the brown people in them. I think a lot of people are like, man, they canceling all the movies with the brown people in them. I'm a lot of people scared for Blue Beetle, which I'm kind of scared for Blue Beetle too, because Blue Beetle's one of my favorite superheroes. I like Blue Beetle. My dude from Karate Kid playing him. What's my dude name? I forgot. He has a weird name. He's like that girl that played America Chavez in the last Doctor Strange. Like he has a name that starts with an X. And I can't pronounce his name, but like he's like the lead like Latino kid in Cobra Kai. I can't pronounce his name, but he's playing Blue Beetle, and I saw set photos of him as Blue Beetle, and he looks fucking fire. He looks amazing as Blue Beetle. I saw him cause they got set photos of him walking around in the suit. They did there's a still photo of him with the Blue Beetle mask on. It's very comic book accurate. Cause he's got the blue mask on with the black in it, and it's got the yellow eyes, and like it's an awesome looking costume. It looks very comic book accurate. I'm looking forward to Blue Beetle. Hopefully they don't scrap that movie. Hopefully they don't scrap that movie too, because I'm looking forward to that movie. If they scrap that movie, that's gonna piss me off. Really, that's gonna hurt me. But because like I say, Blue Beetle, one of my favorite superheroes. But the Jaime Reyes, the Jaime Reyes version of Blue Beetle I like. I don't really care for the Ted Kord version. You know, the white Blue Beetle. Don't really care for the Ted Kord version. I like Jaime. Jaime is my Blue Beetle. I like that Blue Beetle. But he was also my favorite character to play in Injustice. I used to kick ass with him. But yeah, there's a lot of people, a lot of backlash for that, saying that they're canceling the movies with the brown people in them. So far, they're just canceling the movies with the women in them. Canceling all the women-led superhero movies. I hope that this guy is not like Ike Perlmutter. If you remember over at Disney and Marvel, because Ike Perlmutter was kind of a roadblock in the MCU because he didn't want to do anything with women in it. Like, he didn't want a female-led superhero movie at all. I think Kevin Feige was pushing for a Black Widow movie. He didn't want to fucking do it. We would have got this Black Widow movie. We probably would have got a better Black Widow movie like years before we got the one that we got. He didn't want to do Black Panther. They kept Kevin Feige kept pushing for Black Panther. I think even like Nate Mortz kept pushing for Black Panther. Ike Perlmutter just kept saying no. Once they got rid of Ike Perlmutter, that's when you start seeing female-led superhero movies. That's when you start seeing black superheroes, you know, like superheroes of color. That's when you started seeing that. Once they got rid of Ike Perlmutter. Hopefully this David Zaslav guy is not another Ike Perlmutter with DC and Warner Brothers. Because like where he's just like, yeah, I don't want to do any women-led superheroes. I don't want to do any people of color superheroes. Even though Black Adam, like The Rock is playing Black Adam, you know, like he's a man of color. He's black and Samoan, so like he's black and Samoan, but he's also The Rock. You know, The Rock has pretty much carte blanche to do anything he wants to fucking do, really. But you know, but yeah, hopefully we get more female-led superheroes. Hopefully we get more superheroes of color. Hopefully we get like the Jon Stewart Green Lantern in the DCEU. I would love to see that. You know, hopefully we get hopefully we get like a Vixen. Hopefully we get a Vixen movie. Hopefully we could get a Black Lightning movie. Hopefully we can get things like that. Maybe we could get Mr. Terrific. Aldous Hodge is playing Hawkman. Hopefully maybe Aldous Hodge could get a Hawkman movie. You know, since Hawkman is a black man now. So but yeah, hopefully we could do that. Aquaman's out there. Then like Jason Momoa's Samoan. He's a man of color. So hopefully they could probably go forward with Aquaman. But Aquaman's making the money, so they're probably gonna go forward with that. Yeah, man. Like he's talking. But like, while we're in DCEU, let's talk about DCEU. He's talking about David Zaslav's talking about having a 10-year plan with the DCEU. They're talking about, they straight up just say, we gonna copy what Kevin Feige was doing with the MCU. Pretty much. Like, we're going to copy what Kevin Feige and Disney are doing with the MCU. We're going to copy that fucking, we're gonna copy that fucking game plan like to the T. They said they're trying to look for a guy that's like Kevin Feige. Really I think they're trying to look for a guy that like knows comic books, that knows the lore. They had Jeff Johns. At first. Turns out that he was being a piece of shit, behind closed doors. I believe like Ray Fisher had problems with him too. Hopefully we can get Cyborg back. Maybe. I don't want to see a solo Cyborg movie, but get him in something. He could be in something. But yeah. But yeah, like they said, like they want to do the 10-year plan that Kevin Feige's doing. Is what they want to do. They're going to find their own Kevin Feige and they're going to copy that shit to the T. I don't know what's going to go by the wayside and what's going to stay. I think quite obviously, Black Adam's going to stay. I think Shazam's going to stay. Like Zachary Levi is safe as Shazam. And Jason Momoa is safe as Aquaman. A lot of people had speculation about Gal Gadot. I think she's safe too. Gal Gadot is synonymous with Wonder Woman now. Like she's grandmothered in as Wonder Woman. Like I don't think she has to worry about her job security. Like her. I think she stays as Wonder Woman. I don't know the Batman situation or the Superman situation because I think Henry Cavill's gone. Everybody thought that Henry Cavill was going to show up at Comic-Con. But I think he's gone. I think he's done as Superman. I think that's the end of him. More Witcher seasons for him, I guess. Or whatever the fuck that Henry Cavill's doing right now. I don't know the Batman situation because we got 3 Batmen now. We got 3 Batmen. No Superman. 3 Batmen. Because you got Robert Pattinson's Batman. Then you got Ben Affleck's Batman, who's going to show up twice. He's going to be in The Flash. And he's going to be in Aquaman too. But also, you got Michael Keaton's Batman also making a return. Not in Batgirl. He was supposed to be in Batgirl, but like he's going to be in The Flash too. Also, I don't know if there's any more plans for Michael Keaton's Batman. At this point, I think it's whatever Michael Keaton wants to do. Because Michael Keaton always seems like that type of dude. Like he just does stuff because he wants to do it. Like he just doesn't take a role. He just not. Oh yeah, he's just like, yeah, I just want to do it because I want to do it. How Michael Keaton talks. He's like, yeah, they wanted me for Batman again, and like, I just wanted to do Batman. It was cool. It was cool to say I'm Batman. Like it was cool to do that again. So I just wanted to do it. Have I watched any of the DC movies? No. Have I watched any of the Marvel movies? Because I'm also the Vulture too. But no, I've never seen a DC movie and I've never seen a Marvel movie because I got more important shit to do in my life. I'm Michael Keaton. Watch my movies. He's the Batman now too. So we don't know which Batman is going to be in the actual DCEU. I enjoy Ben Affleck's Batman for what it is. I feel like Ben Affleck needs to get a proper Batman film. I really believe his Batman needs a proper Batman film because I actually enjoy his Batman. I actually like Ben Affleck's Batman. For one, he's like the first guy in the history of on-screen Batmen, excuse me, that actually looks like Bruce Wayne. He's a tall, strapping man with black hair, and he's got a chiseled jawline. That's what Bruce Wayne looks like in the comics. He's Ben Affleck is the most comic book accurate Bruce Wayne I've ever seen. No disrespect to Christian Bale, no disrespect to Michael Keaton, no disrespect to Val Kilmer, because I enjoyed Val Kilmer as Bruce Wayne. I enjoyed Val Kilmer's Batman as well. George Clooney, yeah. But Robert Pattinson is like emo sad boy Bruce Wayne, and I don't know how to feel about that. But anyway, I just want to see Ben Affleck's Batman get a proper Batman film, because like I like his Batman. He hasn't been in a good movie though. That's the problem with him. Like, he hasn't been in a good movie. He did Batman vs Superman. He did Justice League. Both those movies, not particularly good. Hopefully he does well in Aquaman 2. Hopefully he does well in The Flash. You know, and then hopefully they could spin him off into his own Batman film. I don't know what you would call it. You can't call it The Batman. So, can't call it that. But, like, you would have to call it Batman something. Batman Triumphant. I don't know what the fuck. But but yeah, man, I don't know what they're gonna do with that, because like there's a lot of things they gotta fix in that DCEU, man. The only thing they got the hold of is Aquaman. They got a hold of Wonder Woman. They got a hold of Shazam. Black Adam is a new character that they're introducing, with all the other tertiary characters that are gonna be in that movie as well, with Dr. Fate and Hawkman. I think Mr. Terrific is going to be in there. You're going to have Atom Smasher. You know, like there's a bunch of heroes in that movie. So I don't know exactly what they're going to do. I don't know exactly what they're going to do with the DCEU, but like they got a lot of shit. They got a lot of stuff to fix. They got to deal with this Ezra Miller problem, you know, because that dude is out here being reckless. You know, like that dude's a fugitive now. I believe that dude's a fugitive from the law, and he's running around with a young girl, you know. So I don't know what's going to happen with Ezra Miller's Flash, but they gotta fix that. They gotta fix that Flash problem. Another thing they did, they cut the DC television. Like the CW television stuff, all that shit's gone. They've already announced that they're gonna cancel Flash. Like Supergirl been canceled. Legends of Tomorrow got canceled. What else? I don't know what else was up there. I think there was Batwoman got canceled. Thank God. You know, but like it was like that Batwoman show. That Batwoman show has never been good. You know, Ruby Rose, the other girl, I wasn't feeling it. I think they canceled that Naomi show too. I didn't check that out, but I don't know anything about it. So like they canceled a lot of the CW stuff. Superman and Lois probably gonna get canceled too, which I saw a couple episodes of Superman and Lois, and I actually like it. I like Superman and Lois. Too bad it's probably gonna get canceled. That guy might be the new movie Superman. Who knows? What's his name? Tyler Hoechlin or whatever his name is. That guy might be the new Superman. Like he does a good job. He does a great job as Clark Kent. He does a great job as Superman. You know, like that might be your new Superman. You know, and Grant Gustin might be your new Flash. Who knows? They might get promoted. But yeah, that's all the stuff that's going down with the DCEU. Moving on, they're talking about like all the stuff they're doing with HBO Max. Like a lot of original HBO Max content is going by the wayside. A lot of original HBO Max movies going by the wayside. They already cut a lot of stuff. I think they even cut some HBO stuff. A little worried about that because I actually enjoy HBO Max. HBO Max is like my favorite streaming service. Next to Hulu and next to Disney Plus. I don't really watch Netflix a lot anymore. I don't really mess with Netflix like that no more. For one, I think somebody hacked my Netflix and I can't get in it. You know, I can't get in my Netflix. I think somebody hacked it and I can't get in. But from what I hear, like I'm not missing anything too much. I'm not really missing anything on Netflix. But yeah, but like I'm really into HBO Max. I'm really into Hulu because like they have like the television stuff on there. I can watch like network TV on there. I also like Disney Plus, for the Marvel stuff, for the Star Wars stuff. They have sports documentaries up there that I enjoy. Some of the Pixar stuff, just got finished watching Lightyear like a couple days ago. So really, those are like my three go-to streaming services. I'm a little afraid for what they're gonna do with HBO Max, because like I said, they're already cutting shit. There's a couple of things on there I like. I like Michael Che's show. I hope they don't cut his show. His show is pretty hilarious, and it ended on a cliffhanger. Season 2 ended on a cliffhanger, so like I don't know what's gonna happen. I hope there's a season 3. Because like I hate when shows end like that. Don't you just hate when shows end like that? When shows end and like they end on a cliffhanger, you're like, what's gonna happen next? Like, what's gonna happen next? And you don't know what's gonna happen next, and the show gets canceled. It's like, damn, man. But yeah, man, they got a lot of. I'm afraid for HBO Max. I really am. Because like there's a lot of black sitcoms on there too. Because like, what if they cut all the black sitcoms? Because like a lot of things, like the two things on networks that go are animation and shows that black people like. What happens, like a lot of the black shows might go, because like they got a lot of classic black sitcoms on HBO Max that I enjoy watching over again. Like they got The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, they got Family Matters, they got Martin, they got the Wayans brothers. Like what if all those shows get cut? What if they cut all those shows? Like Hanging with Mr. Cooper's on there. They got the Jamie Foxx show on there. What if all those shows get cut? Like what if they're just skimming through? David Zaslav is in his office just skimming through HBO Max, and he's just like, he sees Martin. And he sees Martin. He's just like, he's looking at Martin, and he's just like, yeah, you know what? I don't want that on my streaming platform anymore. Cut that. Or he sees the Wayans brothers, or like what's a lesser, or Hanging with Mr. Cooper. Or he sees a Hanging with Mr. Cooper, and he's just like, you know what? I don't want that anymore. Cut that. Like that's not making any money for me. He may keep like the Fresh Prince. Like he may keep the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like that may be like the only black sitcom that survives. I don't know if like anybody else would pick those shows up. I don't know if like Netflix would pick those shows up. I don't know if Hulu would pick those shows up. Because Living Single is on Hulu. So like they might pick that up. I think like 227 is like that's an old sitcom from the 80s called 227. I believe that's on Hulu as well. 227 is where I got my first crush on a woman. Like I was like, when I was like 5 years old, I had a crush on Jackée. Jackée is my first crush. When I was 5 years old. Because like it was her and then Elvira. Those two were like the first two crushes for me. Jackée, for anybody that doesn't know, she was also the mom on Sister. But like she doesn't look like what she looked like as the mom from Sister. She was smoking hot. Look up young pictures. If you don't know who Jackée is, Jackée Harry, look up young pictures of Jackée Harry. Oh my God, she was a goddamn smoke show back in the day. Back in the 80s? 80s Jackée is fire, bro. Like, look up 80s pictures of Jackée Harry, man. She is a sight to be seen, my God. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, but like they got those shows. Maybe like Hulu will pick up those shows, you know. Maybe BT Plus. BT Plus will pick those shows up too. I don't want to watch BT Plus. I really don't. But yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on there with that. But like those are two things I really wanted to mention. What's going on with the DCEU? What's going on with HBO Max? How Discovery Plus plays a role in this. You know, what's going to happen there. The day and date thing is not happening anymore. I think the 45-day window thing is not happening anymore. HBO Max either. So all that stuff scrapped. So that's pretty much all I wanted to touch on and talk about. That's pretty much it. I'll be back with my review of Spider-Man after these messages. Oh, and welcome back. Spider-Man from 2002. Let's talk about how this movie was made, who made this movie, and then we're going to talk about how it affected me, and then we're going to talk about the movie in depth itself. So, first off, let's talk about the technical. The movie was directed by Sam Raimi of Evil Dead fame. The screenplay was written by David Knope, who's also written some huge movies like Jurassic Park and Mission Impossible. He also wrote Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and Lost World, but like, you know what? We all make mistakes, right? We're all human. The movie had a budget of $139 million and brought in $825 million at the box office. The movie has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 90%, which I think that's fair. You know, that's a fair rating, because that's about like what I would give it as well. But I'm not gonna give you guys my rating yet. But from what I've deep dove in and did my research on, like, a Spider-Man film has been in development since the 80s. You know, like, they've been trying to do a Spider-Man movie since the 80s. Like, at one point, Canon Films had the rights to make a Spider-Man movie. The owners of the company, like, didn't even know what Spider-Man was, by the way. They didn't know what Spider-Man was because it's the Golden Globus guys, the guys from like Israel, or are they from Israel? I think they're from Israel. They did like a whole Canon Films documentary about them. Good. Check out the Canon Films documentary. I think it's called Electric Boogaloo, the story of Canon Films, or something like that. I think it's called. Great documentary. Check it out whenever you get the chance. But like, yeah, they didn't know what Spider-Man was. Like, so like they almost made Spider-Man a horror film with Toby Hooper from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, who did Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He was attached to direct the movie. Luckily, Stan Lee stepped in and said, hell nah, y'all ain't doing that to Spider-Man. So, because I think like the original concept was, for the Canon films, the Toby Hooper directed Spider-Man, was he's going to be like a werewolf type character. Because I think that's what they thought he was. They thought he was a werewolf type character. And what they're going to do was they're going to make him an actual Spider-Man, is what they were going to do. They're going to make him a man spider, which he does, which happens to him eventually, you know, but you want to save that for later down the road, you know, like, you don't want to turn him into a Spider-Man, you know, like, at first glance, like, get people acclimated to the character before you do that. So like, luckily Stan Lee stepped in and stepped in and stopped this shit and said, hell nah, y'all ain't doing that shit. In 1999, Sony Pictures got the rights to make a Spider-Man film, and like there was a who's who of directors that were attached to do this movie. I'm not gonna name all of them, but there's some names that stick out. Tony Scott, Tim Burton, Michael Bay, Ang Lee, and M. Night Shyamalan. Some of the many directors that were attached to do this movie. But they eventually went with Sam Raimi, who is a diehard Spider-Man fan. So like he knows what he's doing. He knows a lot about Spider-Man. Filming began in January of 2001. They started principal photography in January of 2001. Fun fact about this movie. Hugh Jackman was actually on set of the movie. He was on set of the movie to reprise his role of Wolverine. But the problem was like there was issues with his X-Men costume. Like I don't think they could get it. I don't think they could fly it out or something like that. They couldn't get it delivered from 20th Century Fox. So Hugh Jackman doesn't appear in the movie as Wolverine. He was supposed to be in the movie as Wolverine. I don't know what he was gonna be doing as Wolverine, but that would have been fire. In 2002, to see Wolverine and Spider-Man together, that would have been awesome. Like, that would have been like the kickoff of the Marvel Cinematic Universe right there. That would have been dope. But we didn't get to see that because 20th Century Fox didn't. I don't know if they didn't or they couldn't fly Hugh Jackman's X-Men suit out to the set. So no Wolverine and Spider-Man. Now let's talk about how I saw this movie as a kid. First off, as a diehard Spider-Man fan, like this movie is very near and dear to my heart. The very first time I read Spider-Man was when I was 8 years old. That was the first time I ever read a Spider-Man comic. I read Amazing Fantasy number 16 at the school library. Like, my school library had Amazing Fantasy number 16, like the first appearance of Spider-Man. And I ended up checking it out. I checked it out of the library because like you could check out books or whatever you wanted to check out from the library. And so I checked out Amazing Fantasy number 16 and I read the hell out of that comic. I read the hell out of that comic book. Like just front to back, page to page. I was like obsessed with that comic. That's how I got hooked on Spider-Man. I also remember the library charging me $1 because I kept the comic book like a day over. I remember that. Like, who charges 8-year-old $1 for a comic book? Man, just what sicko does that? But yeah, man, I was obsessed with Spider-Man. Spider-Man's like one of my all-time favorite superheroes, man. Like, as I'm looking right now, I have a Spider-Man wallet. My wallet is a Spider-Man wallet. So it's a little worse for wear right now, but I don't want to get rid of it because I love Spider-Man. I need to get a new wallet, but I don't want to get rid of it. But maybe I'll find another Spider-Man wallet. Who knows? That was a birthday present from my wife. The Spider-Man wallet. So I thank her for that. But yeah, I became like an obsessed fan of Spider-Man. Like right after reading Amazing Fantasy, I just started reading all the Spider-Man comic books. I watched the Spider-Man cartoon religiously. I love that because like at that time in like 94, for me it was like Spider-Man, X-Men, Power Rangers. Those are like the three things. Those were like the three things I was obsessed with. It was Spider-Man, X-Men, and Power Rangers. I loved all three of those things in 1994. Those are my three favorite things. So like I remember as a kid, they were talking about a Spider-Man movie, and like I was like so excited to hear about a Spider-Man movie because like I used to read a Wizard magazine. If anybody's old enough to remember Wizard magazine, where like they would talk about comic books in there. They would talk about comic book news. They would interview like creators, like they would like interview like Jim Lee and like Les Wein and Chris Claremont, you know, like all they would interview those guys in Wizard magazine. They would like interview like Todd McFarlane, Kevin Smith was interviewed in there also. Like they were interviewed like a lot of like big like comic book creators in there. Michael Turner, if you remember Michael Turner, the late great Michael Turner. Also, a lot of guys. I'm just naming names right now, but you know, but yeah, man. But like that's how I found out about the Spider-Man movie. Like the Spider-Man movie was in the works. I was like, they're doing a Spider-Man movie. I was like, awesome. And so I believe James Cameron was attached as the director at the time, and I was hearing rumors that like Leonardo DiCaprio was going to be Spider-Man, which I could take that with a grain of salt. You know, I wasn't really a fan of Leonardo DiCaprio. I was like every other boy in the 90s, like because like girls liked him. I was like, ew, Leonardo DiCaprio, yucky. You know, but like I've grown to appreciate Leo as a great fucking actor. Though he's a great fucking actor. I can't deny that. You know, But yeah, I heard he was going to be Spider-Man. Like these are like rumors I was hearing like in the mid 90s, like 95, 96, 97-ish. But like I said, like they didn't announce the actual movie until about like 2000. I think I saw like clips about it, like news about it in Wizard. They're like, yeah, Spider-Man movie's actually happening now, guys. Like this is who they got. You know, like Tobey Maguire's playing Spider-Man, William Dafoe, you know, Green Goblin, you know. I think they were talking about like there was talks like Nicolas Cage was going to play Green Goblin first, but then he had dropped out or some shit. Yeah, man, I was just like, this is going to be cool. Like I said, like I just the thought of a Spider-Man movie was just I was hyped for, you know. I was just hyped to see a Spider-Man movie. I saw the movie. I saw this movie the first week at the theater with my aunt who wanted to see the movie too. I was 16? I want to say I was like 16 going on 17. I was like 16 going on 17. And I remember the line being wrapped around the theater with geeks, like Spider-Man geeks, just foaming at the mouth to go see this movie. Like, it's a moment that like I'll never forget. Like, I even wore like my Spider-Man shirt that my mom bought me. You know, like my mom bought me a Spider-Man shirt. It was like I still have that Spider-Man shirt. Actually, I still have that shirt. It's in my closet. I never got rid of it. I still have that shirt. I don't wear it because like I'm too big for it. I believe, you know, like I'm too big to wear it now. Cause like when I was a teenager, I was like a beanpole kid. You know, I was a chubby kid. When I was like a elementary school kid. I started thinning out about like 12, 13, and like by like 13 years old, I started thinning out, you know, so I just became like a skinny beanpole kid, who loved comic books and anime, you know, and heavy metal music, you know, so, you know, like I was that kid, and so like I can't really fit it because I got bigger. I'm a big dude now, so I can't really fit the Spider-Man shirt anymore, but I still have it. You know, I don't know, maybe I'll sell it on like fucking eBay or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a giveaway and you can have a Spider-Man shirt that I got when I was like 14 years old. that my mom bought me in like 2001, or 2000, but yeah, I can sell you that shirt. I don't know. But yeah, man, like the whole thing was an experience, man. It was an experience. I remember loving that movie and coming out of the theater like hyped, like I think I no bullshit. I think I cried in the theater when I finally saw Spider-Man. Like I was on a Spider-Man high. On a Spider-Man high. But anyway, let's see if this movie holds up 20 years later. Let's get into what I thought about the movie and what's going on with the movie. I think this might be the first Marvel movie to use the iconic comic book intro. Like the play, the flipping through the page intro. That is always in the beginning of like Marvel movies, which like the MCU does too, but like they kind of adapted it to where like it doesn't like show like the comic book stuff, it just shows like the characters, because at first I think they were doing that the splash page flipping through the page thing that they did in with the original Marvel movies, but then like they was like, hey man, we're Marvel Studios now, we got our own lore now, so like it's just like all the movie characters thrown in your face and stuff, so that's what they do now. But like I think this was the beginning of that, because like I don't remember the X-Men using it, and I damn sure know that Blade didn't use it, but like it's fitting that this was the first movie to use it, because Spider-Man is really the first costumed superhero that Marvel actually put on film. Because people didn't know that Blade was a superhero. They didn't portray Blade as a comic book superhero. They just portrayed Blade as like another Wesley Snipes film, really. And it was rated R, so like there was a lot of kids that couldn't see it. They tried to make X-Men more sci-fi than anything. Like the original X-Men movie is more of a sci-fi film than anything. Spider-Man was the first time Marvel was like, here's a superhero in his comic book accurate costume. Like, you either take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. But let's talk about the movie. From the beginning of this movie, like, Peter Parker doesn't get any respect. Like, everybody bullies him. Like, even the bus driver bullies him. Like, got him like running for the bus and shit. Got that man running for the bus. Like he get on the bus, nobody want to sit by him. They be bullying him on the bus, like picking on him on the bus. Like, don't nobody put respect on Peter Parker name. Like, it's not a name that you say, you gotta put some respect on it, But this is a scene I wanted to talk about. So Peter's class is going on a field trip. I guess that's what Peter was running for the bus for, because he gets on the bus and the next thing you know, like he's on a field trip. That's the next scene, is him on a field trip. But his class looks like they're 30 years old. Like they all look 30. They look like a bunch of 30-year-olds doing community service is what they look like. The teacher looks younger than them, and that always made me laugh. Every time I watch Spider-Man, I look at that, and it always made me laugh, because like he's trying to be all authority figure, like listen to me and bullshit. But I'm like, half that class looks like they could kick your ass, bro. It's just hilarious, bro. Like, I'm supposed to believe this guy that looks like he's like 15 as the authority figure to these like grown ass people, But yeah, that's just hilarious. James Franco shows up in this movie as Harry Osborn. Like, shit, man. Like, I didn't tell him to do what he did. Shit, like, didn't he invite a 16-year-old girl to his hotel room, or am I tripping? Am I tripping that he did that? If I am, I'm sorry. He's still a creep, though. You know, he's still a fucking creep. But anyway, he plays Peter's rich best friend. And he's also joined by the GOAT himself, Willem Dafoe, as Norman Osborn. Oh yeah, I also went this whole time without telling you who's playing Spider-Man. I believe I did at the top. I don't know. Tobey Maguire. Leonardo DiCaprio's best friend, by the way, is playing Spider-Man. Just to let you know who's playing Spider-Man. Kristen Dunst plays Mary Jane, which, looking back, I've always found her Mary Jane very dull and very homely looking. You know, no offense to Kristen Dunst, but like Mary Jane is like supposed to be a smoke show of a woman. You know, like she's supposed to be like this like, super hot woman that every man desires, and like I don't see that in Kirsten Dunst. I just don't see that in her. And like I know it's been like a running joke that none of the movie Spider-Man have had a hot girlfriend, and I don't think that's totally true. That chick that played Vulture's daughter is like super hot. Like that's a smoke show right there. That girl is a smoke show. I think she's like a model in real life too, so like that probably helps that she's such a goddamn smoke show. But yeah, other than that, I don't particularly find most of Spider-Man's movie girlfriends attractive. Zendaya, I think Zendaya's a cute girl, but like I don't know if it's just the age. She's just too young for me. You know, so like I don't find her sexually attractive. You know, I think she's a cute girl, but I don't find her sexually attractive. Like I said, maybe because of the age difference, maybe. But hey, like I said, like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Who am I to judge? I really enjoyed Uncle Ben and Aunt May. Like, I just love how wholesome and hardworking people they are. Like, the first scene we see of them in the kitchen, like, just drives home what they're all about. Like, it drives home what they're all about, and it drives home the values that they instilled in Peter. So, like, I like that. I like that scene when, like, you're introduced to them. When Peter gets bit by the spider, like, I like how they show him really getting sick. Like, I like how they show him getting sick, because in reality, if you get bit by a spider, you're probably going to die if you don't get any medical attention for it. So, like, you're probably going to die. So, I like that they show that Peter was like almost the fuck out of here. Like, he was almost dead. But I also like how they show Peter's transformation and they show Norman's transformation into the Green Goblin simultaneously. So like you get the creation of a hero and you get the creation of a villain at the same time. I love that they did that. I love the nuance in that. Our new Nubian black brother Joe Manganiello is in here as the Flash, as Flash Thompson. I said the Flash, as Flash Thompson. If you don't know, type in Finding My Roots Joe Manganiello. You'll find out why I call him our Nubian black brother. You know, so you'll find out about that. But I totally forgot that he was Flash Thompson in this movie. Like, he looks so different. He's very unrecognizable as Flash. You also have the montage of Peter testing his powers out. That's fun. Let's talk about it. I want to talk about this one thing. I've never been a fan of the organic webs. I've always liked the web shooters. I'm used to the web shooters. I've always been used to Peter using web shooters. So like him using organic webs just like took me the fuck out. I was like, what? The webs are coming out of his arm? What? Oh, like, he ain't got the web shooters or nothing. But but at the time I didn't care. I was just happy to see Spider-Man on the big screen, But in hindsight, not a fan of the organic webs. I don't care for it, especially since we had 2 other Spider-Men after that, and they use web shooters, because like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man uses web shooters, and Tom Holland's Spider-Man uses web shooters. So I'm glad we've gone back to web shooters. Cliff Robinson's speech as Uncle Ben is just phenomenal, man. Like some of the best acting in this entire movie. I love his speech where like he talks to Peter and like he's saying like when he's talking to him and he's trying to talk some sense into him, and he told him like the famous line, with great power comes great responsibility. I love that. Like Cliff Robinson does his thing in this movie. For the little time he's here, I love his Uncle Ben. Peter was being a dick to Uncle Ben though. Like that kind of sucked. Like Peter was kind of an asshole to his uncle. That man didn't have to take you in after your parents died. He didn't have to open his home to you. He could have been like, hey, send that little nigga to the orphanage, but he was nice, took that boy into his home and raised him like his own, man. And Peter was a fucking asshole to him. Fuck Peter for that. But anyway, now we get to one of my favorite scenes when Spider-Man fights Macho Man Randy Savage. Anybody remember that long-standing feud? Like with Spider-Man versus Macho Man Randy Savage. Nobody remembers that? No? Okay. We also get a cameo from a young Octavia Spencer. Academy Award winner Octavia Spencer is a cameo. Like she has a bit part as like one of the ticket girls or something at the wrestling event. So like she's in here. I was actually shocked to see her. Like when I saw it, how you see people like they really famous now, and then like you see how they start. So like it was kind of like that. Like when I'm like, yo, that's Octavia Spencer. I was like, is she mad young too? I was like, But yeah, man, she's in this movie. One thing I like doing, I love just quoting Bonesaw McGraw randomly in public. That's one of my favorite things to do, is to quote Bonesaw McGraw randomly in public, and like no one knows what the fuck I'm talking about. It's hilarious because like, yeah, they think I'm crazy, but it's still hilarious to me. So, and I really don't give a fuck what people think about me. But anyway, let's talk about Uncle Ben's death scene, bro. Uncle Ben's death scene is still heartbreaking. Like, just everything about that scene is heartbreaking. Like, the fact that he's got tears in his eyes after getting shot because, like, he's not ready to die yet. Like, that's the most heartbreaking thing, man. Because, you see, you took this man's life. And, like, you got tears in his eyes. Like, he don't want to die, man. Because, like, he's not ready to die yet. He's just, like, because he's just, like, I think he's just thinking about everything and all the responsibility he has to take care of. Like, he has to take care of his wife. He has to take care of, like, his wife, Aunt May. He has to take care of Peter. Like, Peter still needs him. And, like, he's just not ready to die. And like, he's trying to talk to Peter, but like he just breathes his last breath instead. Like, all of that is just heartbreaking, bro. And fuck Spider-Man 3 for retconning that shit. Fuck Spider-Man 3 for that, because like, now they're like, oh, the Sandman was there when he got shot. I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. Shut up. I could talk about this because I'm not going to do Spider-Man 3. You know? For any reason whatsoever. I have no reason to talk about Spider-Man 3. Just to maybe fucking roast it, one day. But like that's the only reason I would have to even talk about Spider-Man 3, because it's out of my wheelhouse. I was already a fucking adult, grown-ass man when Spider-Man 3 came out, And I just don't want to fucking talk about Spider-Man 3. I think it's a fucking terrible movie. But also, let's talk about Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn was giving me weird groomer energy with his relationship with Peter. It's just very strange. Every time he sees Peter, like he's always like in Peter's face. Like the first time he sees Peter at the field trip, he's just like in awe of Peter, like, and like he just like, yeah, you like science or something like that. He's all in Peter's face. Like even Peter's kind of like, yo man, you want to back the fuck up off me, bro? Even Peter is just like a little weirded out by Norman Osborn. He just has weird groomer energy to me. I don't know what it was. Somebody asked me this question. Because like I have a question. How did Peter get the money to make his Spider-Man suit? Like I never thought about that. That's one thing I never thought about that. I never thought about that the whole time watching this movie. It's like, how did Peter get the money to make his Spider-Man suit? Like, he had to fight Macho Man Randy Savage for car money. How can he afford a whole superhero suit? Like, how? Like, did he sell his little spider semen for it? I don't know. Like he sold the webbing in his crotch area, to afford a Spider-Man suit. Because as far as I know, Peter didn't have a job. As far as I know, Peter Parker didn't have a job. So how could he afford a Spider-Man suit? I guess he's really good with a needle and thread. I guess he's really good at needle and thread. I've always had that question about the Spider-Man suit. They explained it in the MCU. There was a good explanation for it. Tony Stark gave him a Spider-Man suit. He made him a Spider-Man suit. He could do that. He's a fucking billionaire. I don't even remember how the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man got his Spider-Man suit. I think he made it. I think they showed him making it. But still, I don't know. But yeah, like they don't even show him making the suit. They show him like making the suit that he went to go wrestle in. But even that was like really ratty looking. That was real raggedy, how could he afford like a very pristine fucking superhero suit? I guess I will never know. J.K. Simmons like knocks it out of the park as J. Jonah Jameson. Like he does such a good job in that role that like they've never recast the character. Like even when they had to do J. Jonah Jameson in the MCU, they just brought J.K. Simmons back, with a ponytail, Because I was like, who's gonna play J. Jonah Jameson in the MCU? Is what I was saying. I was like, who's gonna play him? I was like, there was rumors that Ice Cube was gonna play him, and I was just like, I don't know about that. But they brought J.K. Simmons back as J. Jonah Jameson, which he's perfect for the role. I love him as J. Jonah Jameson. I like the little mention of Eddie Brock. I like the little mention of Eddie Brock to let you know that he's in this universe. Because Robbie Robertson mentions Eddie Brock. He's like, Eddie's been looking for pictures of Spider-Man. He can't get them. And I was like, I just noticed that they mentioned Eddie Brock. So like they let you know that Eddie Brock is in his universe, which we will soon regret. Fuck Spider-Man 3. Speaking of fucking something, fuck Mary Jane 2. by the way. Like, she is for the streets. For the streets. Like, all she does is use men. Like, she is the original city girl. You know? She is an original city girl. Like, throughout this movie, she uses Harry and Peter to get what she wants. You know, like, she technically uses people throughout this whole franchise to get what she wants. And because, like, she uses Harry, she uses Peter, she uses J. Jonah Jameson's son in Spider-Man 2. You know, like, she's playing or is that Spider-Man 3? I think that might be Spider-Man 3 too. I'm getting my Spider-Mans mixed up, you know. She's like playing Harry and Peter against each other, I think, in like Spider-Man 3. You know, but no, the John Jameson is in Spider-Man 2. John Jameson is in Spider-Man 2. I remember that, yeah. Yeah, man, but like, she's a user, bro. She's a fucking user. Meanwhile, like, we see the Green Goblin. The Green Goblin out here just being a menace. You know, just like killing everybody like they've ever done him wrong, you know, out here. Unpopular opinion, by the way, which a lot of my opinions are unpopular. I like the Green Goblin suit. You know, like, I like the suit. A lot of people say that it looks like a Power Rangers villain, but I'm actually okay with the suit. I think the suit it looks fine. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. Like, I actually like that Green Goblin suit. It's the best that they could do in 2002. You know, that could like translate to screen. It's the best they could do. I love the mirror scene with Willem Dafoe talking to himself. Like, Willem Dafoe is just amazing as this character, man. Like, in my opinion, this is the role that put him on the map. Like, I can't really remember anything he did before playing the Green Goblin. I mean, obviously, I've seen some things he's done, you know, but like, this was really his breakout role. Like, the Green Goblin is what put him on the map. It's what got him like a bunch of work. Cause I think he was like just 40, I want to say, or at least like about to turn 40. You know, I think he's about to turn 40 when he got the Green Goblin role. You know, like, he wasn't that old. But yeah, man, but like, this is the thing that put him on the map, man. Like, he murders this character. Also want to shout out J. Jonah Jameson for being a real one and not snitching on Peter. When the Green Goblin had him dead to rights, you know, because like the Green Goblin like bombs his fucking office and asks about Spider-Man. He's like, who's the photographer that takes the pictures of Spider-Man? And J. Jonah Jameson stay true. He stayed true. He a real one. He was like, I don't know who that is. He was like, I just get his stuff by the mail. Real one. He didn't snitch. Shout out to J. Jonah Jameson for that. Let's talk about a scene I hate. Like, I hate the scene with the West Side Story rapists that try to rape Mary Jane. You know? And like, that's what it looked like. It looked like a scene out of West Side Story. Like, I just felt like they could break out into song before they do the rape. It was like they were like walking around. They were like, let's rape. They was like, when you're a jet all the way. Jet. They would just go start like plie and or whatever the fuck they do. You know, they would just start like doing ballet or some shit. Start snapping their fingers and shit. Like, yeah, cool, daddy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I hate that fucking scene. I know that's the scene with the iconic Spider-Man upside down kiss, and I don't give a fuck about that kiss. I really don't. I don't care about that kiss. I heard that Kristen Dunst and Tobey Maguire didn't really care for that kiss either because of the water that was going into them. Like Toby had water going in his mouth and nose at the time, you know. So he really didn't. So he really hates that scene. But like, also Mary Jane out here being foul again, like kissing Spider-Man, knowing she got a man, just knowing she got a man. Like, she for the streets. I'm telling you, bro. Like, even Norman had to tell Harry that she was for the streets. You know, like listen to your daddy, bro. Listen to your daddy. Like, he know. Like, these hoes ain't loyal, man. These hoes ain't loyal. But anyway, Goblin out here like attacking old ladies, like while they trying to say their prayers, you know. That scene is always hilarious to me. That scene has always been hilarious and corny to me. Like, there's a lot of corny scenes in this movie. Like, there's a lot of corny shit in this movie that I look back on. I'm like, that was kind of fucking corny, but this is the most corny. He bombed Aunt May. He bombed Aunt May room, like the house, the side of the house. And like when Aunt May's trying to say her prayers, and he just comes in and he's like, finish it. And she's like, deliver us from evil. You know? I fucking love that scene. It's hilarious to me. Like, Goblin is a fucking menace in this movie, bro. He's just a fucking menace. I didn't talk about how I felt about Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker and Spider-Man also. That's one thing I didn't talk about. I think Tobey is a great Peter Parker. He conveys the earnestness and the shyness of Peter. You know, I can't say the same about his Spider-Man. Like, he doesn't really encapsulate the humor of Spider-Man. You know, like, that's what's missing from his Spider-Man. I think Andrew Garfield does a better job at conveying his humor, like conveying Spider-Man's humor. I think Tom Holland does a great job of doing both. He does a great job of playing both Peter and Spider-Man. Like, Tobey's Spidey is just a little dull to me. You know, like I say, he's got Peter Parker down pat, because like when Peter Parker is not Spider-Man, he's this real shy, like unassuming kid, you know, and like he's a real earnest kid. But when he's Spider-Man, he gets to break out of that. Like, Spider-Man is literally his mask to be who he wants to be. Like Spider-Man is real cocky, real humorous. You know, like, he gets to be who he wants to be. I feel like Tom Holland conveys that a lot with his Spider-Man. Andrew Garfield got Spider-Man down pat. But he also plays Peter kind of cocky as well, and I didn't really care for that. So, you know, but like Tom Holland does both. He does both well. But like I said, Tobey Spidey was just a little dull to me. He was like very super serious. I didn't really care for that. The last fight scene between Spidey and Goblin was like pretty brutal. And I love it. I love how brutal the last fight between Spidey and Goblin is. Like, I think it might be the greatest superhero final battle of all time. I think it might be. I'm thinking about other superhero final battles because I love that it's practical. Like, it's not CGI. It's just two dudes that just going at it in a slugfest, you know? Like, I like that. I like that it's not a CGI fight, because a lot of like final battles, there's a lot of good final battles in like superhero movies now, but they're mostly CGI. They're CGI. I don't really care for that. I like practical fights. I really like practical fights. But overall, I still enjoyed this movie. Like, it was so much fun. The movie itself is just a whole bunch of fun. A lot of the CGI doesn't hold up, but like that's to be expected, because like there's a scene with like Green Goblin hops on his glider in the middle of a crowd, and it just looks like a cartoon. It looks like a cartoon. Like he doesn't fit in that scene at all. But so like a lot of the CGI doesn't hold up. Overall, this movie is fun. You know, it's a fun movie. Some of the parts, like I said, some of the parts are corny, but still fun. I give it a 4 out of 5. Join me next week when I will be reviewing Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Until next time, peace.